Welcome back, YouTube. Blazeshadowthorn back again on another Wi-Fi battle. This one was a Wi-Fi battle against Zeit. It was in a stream. It was probably one of my streams a long time ago. I don't even know when these battles are taking place. It's just all over my mind. I don't even know. But as you can see in front of you, it is a Monotype battle. It is Mono Fire versus Mono Steel. I really love having like those mono battles where you have the type disadvantage, because then it's not so much about, because when you have the type advantage, it's all about having the offensive pressure there and just not letting up. But when you have the type disadvantage, it's all about outsmarting your opponent, and that's really what I like. But looking over, I'm using the same Mono Steel team I have, and looking over at his team, definitely the threats I see is Infernape. If it's a Charizard Y, then definitely Charizard, and the Heatran too, because the Heatran can stop me from unleashing hell upon his team, because Heatran, I don't really view it as much of a, I don't really see what it does for fire types on fire type teams, except wall steel types, which, fire should do that effectively on its own. But anyways, not really complaining about that. But battle's already started, so let's get into it. I'm going to lead off with my Registeel as he leads off with his Rotom Wash. Right off the bat, he's going to go for a Will-O-Wisp, which I honestly thought he'd go straight away for the Overheat. I really need to get my rocks, because he has a Charizard and a and a Volcarona, and it didn't look like he brought a spinner, so that's something I have to keep an eye out. But right here, he does opt to go for the Overheat. I actually thought he'd go for the Volt Switch, which is why I stayed in. I didn't switch out, and I went for the Seismic Toss. So I'm gonna go for the Seismic Toss. It's gonna do a little bit of damage to the room, just 50 damage, but now I get to see he's leftovers. He is not like some weird Chesto Resto set or something like that. He is indeed leftover, so I know that's not as big a threat I need to worry about anymore. But Lidl's at a low amount of HP, so really a big check to his Charizard Y. If it is indeed Charizard Y, is gone, because my Registeel has to be at a max HP in order to live a hit like that. But anyway, I predict the switch out, because I know now he's gonna think I'm gonna go out in my Heatran. So I do in fact stay in, and I do in fact go for the Thunder Wave, predicting him to switch out, and I do catch this Heatran in on the switch in. I was really hoping to catch something else, like maybe a Charizard or something like that, but I don't, unfortunately. So that's something that just brings in the Heatran, but I do see now that I can outspeed it, and right here I can see what item it is, since he's not holding the air balloon as most Heatrans are. He is probably like a leftover set. He said let's go for the Earth Power there, probably predicting me to switch out into my my Heatran, but I don't think I needed to do that. So anyway, I'm gonna go out into my Empoleon, and I'm gonna go for the Earthquake, because I figured 4 times super effective. Even though I have no attack investment, I should be able to knock it out, and I do knock out this Heatran. I would have went for the Scald, but I know Heatrans are normally especially bulky, and I didn't want to risk it. So anyway, he's going to bring in the Charizard now. The Charizard is at half HP, so I do feel relatively safe staying in and going for Scald, as it does turn out to be Charizard Y, but it is at half HP. So even though this is going to be in the sun, the Scald should still be doing a lot of damage. I'm hoping it'll do around 30%. And the Charizard can't really touch my Empoleon much. The worst he can do is Solar Beam me. And as you can see, this Solar Beam does absolutely nothing to my Empoleon, because my Empoleon is a defensive variant. And the Scald does do quite a bit of damage. It does around 40%, so that is pretty decent damage, as he does opt to go for a Roost right here. I'm okay with that, because judging by how much damage the Scald did the first time, if he wants to keep on going for Roosts, that's fine, because eventually it can get to the point where I can stall out the Sun turns and knock him out. So he does opt to see that this is a losing battle, so he is going to go straight away for another Solar Beam, try and do as much damage as he possibly can. Me personally, I would have went for a Fire Blast, risked the miss, and that, probably judging by how much damage the Solar Beam did the second time, might have had a chance to KO me, but I didn't calc it and stuff like that. So anyway, he's gonna go back out into his Rotom. Now I really have no use for this Empoleon anymore, so I'm just gonna let it stay in. I know he's gonna Volt Switch. I'm gonna fodder off my Empoleon, because it did its job, and now I get to see what he wants to go into, so I get the switch initiative, as he is going to switch out, and he's going to go out into his Volcarona, which is pretty good for me because now I'm guessing he's bringing in his Volcarona basically as Death Fodder now because it is at such a low amount of HP. So I'm going to bring in replacement my Jolly Scarf Excadrill because, gotta get that speed. And I'm going to go for the Rock Slide, actually predicting the switch out. I'm not really sure into what, because I'm not really sure what else he has on his team to resist it. But anyways, I didn't want to risk, actually, I think it was, I didn't want to risk the fact of Earthquake not killing, because I do know Earthquake does have a possibility of missing, like not killing. So anyways, I don't want to take a close combat, Flare Blitz, whatever, so I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go out into my Surprise, as he does go for the Mach Punch. Now I get to see right here if he's Scarfed or not, as he does switch out, which leads me to believe that he is Scarfed. Most are Sash, so I wasn't quite sure. So I am able to set up a substitute, which is pretty nice as he brings in the Rotom. This now allows me to set up a free Swords Dance, because if he wants to Volt Switch out, that's fine, it won't break my sub. And I'm at a point where I can then set up Swords Dances and lower his special attack with Overheat, keep on setting up subs, and it'll be great. So he does opt to go for the Will-O-Wisp right here, and he does unfortunately miss. But the miss did not matter at all because I am behind a sub. It would fail anyway. So right here, I know he's going to want to attack me. I know he wants to go straight away for the Will-O-Wisp. Not the Will-O-Wisp, the Overheat. Knock out my sub and try and knock me out. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to predict him to go for the Overheat and set up another substitute as he breaks my sub with the Overheat because, it's 140 base power. It's pretty strong attack, even if this Rotom Wash has Rotom Heat. I keep on saying Rotom Wash because every time I see a Rotom, I automatically assume it's Rotom Wash, but it's Rotom Heat, actually. So, anyways, he breaks the sub, and I'm just going to set up another Swords Dance, because really I have no reason not to, I'm thinking, because he's at -2, so it's not really that big of a threat to me at all. So, I'm going to get a little bit more of Leftovers Recovery as he gets a little bit more Leftovers Recovery. And right here, I'm figuring a +3 Shadow Sneak should be enough to knock out this Rotom. So, I'm just going to go for the Shadow Sneak, see if it knocks him out. And I do believe at the range of HP with this Rotom at, it will be able to knock it out. So, that's pretty cool. I don't have to worry about this Rotom anymore. And I don't think he really has many other things left to deal with it, since his Infernape's choiced in some way. It's not Sash, which means I don't believe it can live this next Shadow Sneak. And even if it does, I do have a Choice Scarfed Heatran in my back pocket, as well as a Choice Scarfed Jelly Excadrill. So, I'm not fearing that too much. So as I do go for the Shadow Sneak, and it is enough to fortunately be able to knock out this Infernape. So, now I'm looking pretty good. I'm looking relatively safe with this Excadrill, with this Aegislash, as he brings in his Talonflame, as the Talonflame goes for Brave Bird, trying to get a last bit of damage off before he thinks he knocks me out with a Shadow Sneak. But unbeknownst to him, I actually do go for another substitute, because I wanted to just mess around. It's the end. I do believe this Talonflame is his last Pokemon. I wanted to just see what he wanted to do. As it turns out, I am able to take that Brave Bird relatively well, because I do have a lot of defense investment with this Aegislash set. As he's just going to go for another Brave Bird. It is actually going to be enough to knock out the sub, which I found was very disappointing, but then again, I have in Shield Form, so I'm not complaining too much, as I'm going to take this opportunity, set up a Swords Dance, because why not? It's the end of the match. It's there's nothing really much you can do. The Talonflame's at a range of HP where he can't knock me out with anything. I'm going to switch out now. I'm going to go out into my Scizor, just basically as Death Fodder, and I actually thought I could take this Brave Bird and then, I don't know, go for a Bullet Punch or something, but actually it turns out he's a Banded Talonflame, so that is going to be able to not knock me out, but it did do a lot of damage, which I'm actually shocked I lived that, but then again, it just shows the pure bulk of Scizor, even when it's not in Mega Form, and that will leave me with the I believe 3-0, because I have my Scizor left, I have my Heatran left, I might have 3-4 or something like that, but anyway, it was still a pretty fun, pretty cool game. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed my narration. As always, I'm Blazeshadowthorn, and see y'all next time.